So we're going to go over how to change the saw blades on the 979-2. On the machine you should have a 36mm wrench and a 10mm Allen wrench. Also with the machine you should have a 1/2" wrench. And then you will also need something to lock out the machine with, and then obviously a new saw blade or a saw blade that has been sharpened and ready for replacement. When we're getting ready to replace the saw blades on the 979-2, we want to make sure that the machine is safe before we start working on there and getting our hands inside the machine. So with this machine you don't need to go through any shutdown process. You can just shut down the machine with this switch here, and then it's off. And then we'll also need to lock out the machine. So now we're going to go ahead and lock out the power for the machine. We'll first turn off the disconnect, and then we'll pull out this little latch here, and then we will put our lock inside, and we are good to go. So here's the main FRL for the 979-2. Normally when you're working on the machine you would want to lock out the air. But for changing the blades on this machine, we will want the air to stay on so that the saws will stay up and out of the way. So this will be a partly energized process. To get started with the process, we're going to open up this access panel right here. And then swing this hatch open. And that will give us access to the bolts that we need to remove this clamp. First we're going to start by removing this clamp here. And then we're just going to carefully snake it out of there, and then just carefully hang it down here. And then next you're going to place your 10mm Allen wrench in here, and that's to hold the motor shaft still. And then you're going to put your wrench here, and then this side is left-hand thread, so it's going to be righty loosey, lefty tighty. And then we'll just break that guy loose. And then this nut is going to come off. And then you're going to have this little washer or carrier. You're going to take that guy off as well. And at this point the blade is ready to come off, and now we need to go back around to the front side and take off the front cover. And we'll take these 4 wing nuts off of the front cover here. And you want to be kind of careful as you take these off, because the panel could come off if you're not holding it while you take them off. And then grab hold of it and just pull it away, and then set it somewhere safe. Now that we've got the front safety guard removed and the hardware removed for the saw blade itself, we're ready to just slide it off carefully, and then we'll carefully snake it out and around, and then pull it straight out, and then carefully slide it back in. There we go. To put everything back together, it's just a reverse of what you did to take it apart. We're going to put the aluminum carrier back on, and then when you go to put this nut back on, you want to be careful. On some of these there is a machine shoulder inside this nut that you need to make sure faces the motor. So just pay attention to that when you take it off. If there's a little machined ledge in there, it goes towards the motor. And we're gonna get our 10mm Allen wrench, stick it back in the motor shaft, and then we're gonna tighten her back up. And you want to get this pretty tight because you don't want it backing off while it's running. And then after we're done with that, get the Allen wrench out, and then we'll move on to putting the clamp back on. All right, now we'll put the clamp back on. Kind of just snake it back in there, make sure the air lines don't get kinked or cut when you go to put them back in. And then we'll get these bolts back in there. And then we'll tighten them back up. And then close the cover. And now all we need to do is remove the lockout, turn the machine back on, and you're ready to run.